Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to another video here on the channel. If you're here, obviously you read the guide. This is supposed to be a returning player's guide to the Edge of Fate. Decided I wanted to make one of these because while the game is definitely not in a great state right now, and there are a lot of people leaving, there also seem to be a lot of people coming back. So I'm going to try and keep this short. I'm going to try and keep this simple, and we're going to try and help you guys who are getting back into the game figure out what to do, figure out in what order to do it, and hopefully understand the new systems that have been added. Let's get right into it. Alright guys, so step one here as you return to the game, pretty obvious one, just do the new campaign. Finish up the Edge of Fate campaign. That should absolutely be the first thing you are doing. There's no reason to start with anything else. But then, after you have done the campaign, I would recommend personally taking a break from Kepler. There are some other things to do here. There's secrets to find, there's the Graviton Spike upgrades to unlock, and there's the whole Mythic campaign quest line to do. But honestly, a lot of that is not going to be very beneficial to you right now, especially the Mythic campaign. I would recommend waiting to do the Mythic campaign until you can actually earn tier 5 gear, which we'll get into how to do that in a second. But once you have finished that original campaign, the first thing you want to do here is come on over to the tower. Now you can't see it on my screen because I already claimed it, but over here there will be a chest called the Tech Sec Supply Drop, and this will give you 777,000 unstable cores to help you with all your infusion, all that. So you don't even have to worry about that. It'll give you some enhancement cores, and the big thing is it will instantly give you all 300 power gear, which means all that time that you have to spend grinding up to 200, 250, 300, boom, you can skip through it just like that and shoot up straight to 300 powers. That is really important to grab and will help you in your power grind a lot. After that, it's time to hop right into the portal, the massive new system they added during the Edge of Fate, because this is really going to be your main system of power grind and how you pretty much get all the new good loot in the game. So let's really just start with how does the portal work and how to take best advantage of the portal. Well, the portal is essentially just a massive collection of activities, some old, some new. You have solo ops here, pretty much a given. Bunch of solo stuff that you do by yourself and is capped out at just one player. Fire team ops, which has a mix of matchmade activities that rotate in and out of matchmaking, and just your typical strikes, battlegrounds, seasonal activities like reclaim and the such. And then you have pinnacle ops, which is a collection of different dungeon encounters, different exotic missions, and different 6-player activities like the coil from the past. This can all be very jarring because there are a ton of different activities to do in here. There are pages and pages of activities. So how do you really decide what's best? Well, at the start, you're probably not going to have much specific stuff here, but you're really going to want to look for these bonus drops. As you can see here, everything comes with completion rewards. So this Fallen Bunker here, one of the reclaim activities, gives me 3 completion rewards. This gives me 3, this gives me 3, and so on. And completion rewards are not all built equally. How it is meant to be set up is that the longer, harder activities give more completion rewards than the easier, but this doesn't really pan out this way. A reclaim here, I can normally complete in about 10 to 12 minutes, and a battleground foothold here, I'll normally complete in about 10 to 12 minutes. Yet, they give 1 versus 3 completion rewards. So there are some major activities you want to focus, like reclaim is a great one for your time spent, Caldera is a great one, and so on. Nightmare of Galran is a great one, but you only want to do that when you don't have bonus drops. The first thing you want to focus is going and doing these bonus drops, because as of a recent update, now bonus drops drop at the same power as completion rewards. So if you see a thing here like on Nightmare of Galran, I have 2 completion rewards and 2 bonus drops. That essentially just means I'm going to get 4 powerful drops. Now, when I'm actually in the activity here, we need to focus on our grade. Now, I would like to start by saying the reward score forecast here is not 100% accurate. In fact, if you're playing with other people, normally the reward score forecast will actually undershoot what you're going to get, and you will normally do a little bit better than what is expected of you here. Now, let's get into what your reward score actually does for you. What it doesn't do is give you more drops. Either way, the amount of drops you see here, 2 completion rewards and 2 bonus drops, will always stay the same, almost no matter what. There is a slight RNG chance to get a special extra powerful drop, but that's just completely random for each activity, and your total score actually has nothing to do with that bonus drop. What it is going to do is increase the power of these drops and the tier. So if you see here, if I go and I put on some modifiers here, boom, now I'm up to a B grade. Now my gear will drop as tier 4 gear, and it will be 436 instead of 434 like it was before. As you see here, as I continue to throw on more modifiers and go up in reward rank here, I will continue to get higher power drops and so on. So you really want to focus on getting very high score. Prior to this was not actually the best strategy because modifiers also added powers, but as of a recent update, modifiers are literally just modifiers. Now, what do I actually mean by this? I know it's pretty confusing, but essentially, they don't really do much. Like, for example here, look at Counterfeit. In my opinion, one of the easiest in the game. When defeated, combatants can drop explosives disguised as familiar items. This pretty much does nothing. There is a very little chance this is actually going to make your run any harder, yet it increases my reward score. So what you really want to do here is go through and focus on choosing the easiest modifiers available that will get you that A rank. You will also notice in the top right here that you have an activity power cap. Now this will change for each one getting harder and harder. As you can see on advanced, it's power capped 10 below, then 15, 20, 25, and then an ultimate all the way at 30 below. So either way, your power will be essentially the same in every activity you play in a given tier. Due to this, it's very, very important that you make your time worth it and you get those max tiers. So go through, choose your easiest modifiers, and do what you can to make sure you get that A rank and get the highest gear possible for every single activity you do. I also want to add in, for anyone who has been playing for a little bit and is just kind of using this as a little helpful stepping stone, that they did also recently make a change to matchmade activities, whereas before you would normally go above your reward score forecast, but that is not the case anymore. So if I am to launch this Cabal's Watch Reclaim activity, I will get a B grade and there's nothing I can do about that. So let that be known and try to always do matchmaking so you can get those A grades, as that would make the same exact activity here drop all my rewards at 2 power higher. Now let's take a second here and talk about some of the most important power thresholds and what those thresholds actually unlock. At 300 power, your starting point, you will unlock the ability to farm tier 3 gear from everything and also have a chance at tier 4 gear dropping. At power 400, you will unlock the ability to farm tier 4 gear and also have a chance of tier 5 gear dropping. At power 450, you will unlock the ability to earn a plus grade and get guaranteed tier 5 gear. And at power 500, you will be able to farm tier 5 gear more easily with lower grades. What I personally would recommend doing after you have your 300 power gear is just going in and for a little while spending time learning how the portal works more, learning what modifiers you like the best, and farming that powerful gear until you hit 350 power. Once you are 350, this is where you can go and explore some of the other little parts again. Some of my personal biggest recommendations would be to go hop into the throne world here and start learning and running the Sunder Doctrine dungeon. This is a really big dungeon to work on and farm because it drops the Finality's Augur, one of, if not the best, exotic heavy in the game right now. This is when I would also recommend heading back to Kepler and checking more of this out, specifically the Mythic campaign, because once you are 350, you can head over to the Altar of Relativity, and you will have this upgrade unlocked down here to unlock Kepler gear tier upgrade +1. This means that every single piece of tiered gear dropped at Kepler will drop 1 tier higher than before. At 450 power, you can get it to tier gear upgrade +2, which will really just affect your random explorer and specifically the sieve activity. But the biggest one for mythic mode is getting tier upgrade +1, as then your gear will drop at tier 5. There is also the raid down here in the bottom corner where you have the epic version and the normal version, but I personally would recommend waiting until you are at least 450 before doing this, as then you can start getting tier 5 drops. These also have feats, but we'll go over that another time in a different guide. Now that we've talked about what activities are best to do and what order you should do these activities in, let's get into probably the most important and biggest change they brought with the Edge of Fate. What actually is tiered gear? Tiered gear is essentially the new version of weapon crafting. And while older weapons that have not currently been brought up into this new tier system aren't technically useless, they are significantly worse. But let's talk about why. First of all, enhanced perks. As you can see, with these different gear tiers, I get enhanced perks, from my minor perks to my major perks and even my origin traits. This is one thing that goes up with gear tier. As you can see on the Ahab char here, my major perks are enhanced, but my minor and my origin traits are not. As you also probably noticed, tier 5 weapons come with a lot more major perks, which means that when you are farming tier 5s, there is a way higher chance to get my god roll. But it is also very important to clarify that just because you get a god roll of a lower tier weapon that doesn't have enhanced perks, like my Ahab Char here, a roll I really like a lot on this weapon, I still should not be deleting it just because it is not a tier 5 version. The reason for this is because in Renegades, the upcoming update, they are actually going to be adding in a new system that will allow you to upgrade your gear tier. So I will eventually be able to make this Ahab Char that's currently a tier 2 into a tier 5. We don't know what exactly that will look like yet, but more information on that will be given to us soon. It's also very important that we talk about how tiered armor works. This is quite a bit more simple than the weapons, but still definitely important to go over. One thing is your energy for your armor mods. Starting at tier 4, you will unlock an extra energy, meaning that you can put more or more powerful mods onto your armor. The other big thing is total stats. As you can see, if I compare these tier 5 boots I have on to my old tier 3 boots, this, with no mods affecting stats, has a total of 90, whereas these tier 3 boots only have a total of 80. So naturally, you want to be putting on all tier 5 armor, as this will give you much higher total stats. The last important thing to talk about when it comes to tiered gear is new gear bonuses. As you can see here, all new gear armor is given a slight damage resistance bonus, and all new gear weapons are given bonus damage. This bonus is increased by the tier of the armor or weapons, so that is just another reason to make sure in all situations you are running the highest tier. New gear is represented by this little blue icon in the top left of your gear here. So if it has a blue icon, that means it is being upgraded by this new gear bonus, or if it is like my Midnight Coupe here, which does not have the blue icon, it is not getting anything from those new gear bonuses. As of right now, exotic gear still hasn't fully been upgraded to this new system, but that will soon be changed in Renegades, where all exotic gear will be considered new gear. Also, right now, all exotic gear is being treated as tier 2 gear. We are hoping that this will soon be changed, but that is what it is at right now. The last thing I want to talk about in this video is conquests. Now, what exactly are conquests? Conquests are meant to be the replacement to the old Grandmaster Nightfalls that we had. How they are meant to work is they are one-time activities that give bonus rewards. So as you can see on this first page, pretty much none of these look very useful because I've done them, but if I go over to the second page here, as you can see, when I complete this for the very first time, on top of the normal 2 completion rewards I would get, I will also get an extra 4 guaranteed T5 gear. These are very good and very rewarding activities, whether you are just looking for more high tier gear or extra powerful drops, because all of these bonus rewards don't not only drop at power, but they actually drop 1 above what normal powerful gear will drop at. These are very good activities, and like I said, whether you're just looking to get more powerful gear or just trying to get better high tier gear, they are very good on both fronts. So definitely make sure to run each conquest when you unlock it to help yourself out. That's about it for this one, guys. If there's anything I missed, please feel free to let me know and I can give you any information you're looking for in the comments. I also have more guides coming soon on specific activities to do on Kepler or stuff like how feats and whatnot work in the new raid. So feel free to stay tuned for that. I hope this was helpful and I hope to see you guys in the next one.